Our next honoree is Diane Salvatore. Diane is joined this evening by her spouse Carol Margarana and hosts Marie Harden and Jerry Cameron. Marie is Dean of the Donald P. Bellisario College of Communications. Diane earned her bachelor's degree in journalism from the Donald P. Bellisario College of Communications and has served as editor-in-chief and held senior editorial roles in some of the nation's largest circulation magazines. She's a content strategist at Meredith, the country's largest digital and print publisher. Let me read the citation from her award. For being a stalwart pioneer in American journalism, and for being a role model for 2 generations and counting of professional women in the communications industry. Ladies and gentlemen, President Bendaputi and I are pleased to present Diane Salvatore.
Good evening, everybody, and I'm so pleased and honored to be here tonight. And I want to thank everybody for this very special, meaningful award. I'm very humbled and appreciative and inspired. I want to thank in particular the Penn State Board of Trustees, Penn State's new president, and everyone at the Bellisario College of Communications. Dean Marie Harden, all the professors there, past and present, and everyone who helped orchestrate this event and facilitate my time here. I also want to congratulate my fellow distinguished alumni from this year and past years who have had such impressive and influential careers across many important industries. And I've had a wonderful storybook 2 days visiting campus. With the incredibly talented and committed professionals connected to the College of Communications, the Media Center, the Penn Stater, and Alumni Affairs. And the weather certainly cooperated. You know, when I came to Penn State in 1980 from New York, it was the closest I had come to a cow. And you know, I liked it. What I found is that the town here has built it quite a bit since then, and it's very impressive to see, and yet it still retains that quality that makes this place special and Happy Valley. But you know, my time at Penn State taught me many things, and this award gave me the opportunity to think about that. One was very humbling, actually. I blew the lead in one of Tom Berner's new classes, news classes, covering town affairs. It was about a medical helicopter landing on a hospital roof. And I didn't grasp the import of that. I didn't grasp yet that this is a big country that we live in, and America is not just the urban East Coast. I also want to point out, you can see how I still nurse those little failures. I also learned the value of uncompromising professionalism, skills and standards, time-worn traditions, and the mastery of practical application. And Penn State also gave me permission, which young people need, to be limited only by audacity and imagination. I also learned about the gravity of reporting on people's lives, ordinary people's lives, that there are consequences of our choices as journalists. And as a columnist at the Collegian, I learned that opinion can wound if it's not measured. And I also learned that collaborating with photographers means you have to respect the unique skills of another medium, that a photo is not just an appendage of the written word. But I must confess, I feel a special responsibility to be representing the College of Communications tonight. For one thing, the college is still very young, and its incredibly exciting incarnation is the Bellisario College, with its powerhouse state-of-the-art media center, born out of one of the 5 largest gifts ever given to Penn State, to the tune of $30 million, by a Penn State alumni. So the pressure is really on the rest of us. The mission of the college is, and I quote, to support future media pioneers as they pursue innovation, excellence, and integrity, with collaboration and creativity. That's a very meaningful statement to me. It's been my own career North Star. I had a chance to tour the media center today, and it was like Disneyland for like media professionals. I kept waiting for someone to punch my ticket. All the research that Dean Harden and her team did to make it cutting edge really paid off in spades. It rivals, frankly, many professional settings that I have seen in my career. And I don't see how you could study there and not decide that you absolutely had to be a multimedia professional with the left. But of course, the other reason I feel the import of this recognition tonight is that the stakes are so high for the current state and near future of journalism today. Because journalism is a key cornerstone of our democracy. Because citizens of a democracy must be well and deeply informed. We must all understand what an excellent and authentic source of news and information is. We must all understand precisely the difference between opinion and news. We must all calibrate and recalibrate what quote unquote balanced news means. And all of this is under examination and under fire today. So the responsibilities that our journalism professors, our students and graduates take on here at Penn State and across the country and around the globe, frankly, contribute directly to the character and texture of information ecosystems everywhere. And therefore, the decisions that citizens make and the causes they mobilize around, which in turn determines the complexion of, just to name a few, our local communities, our larger society, our planet's climate, our healthcare system, our government bodies, our elected officials, and our leaders at the highest levels. This is not an overstatement, I believe. In my career, I've been an editor-in-chief 4 times, I've been a book publisher, I've created digital products for a national news chain, I've interviewed US presidents, first ladies, secretaries of state, met with congresspeople, been on television to showcase the investigations that my staff did in the service of the work that we hoped would inform changes that would improve people's lives. Today's journalism and content has exploded into a kaleidoscope of different incarnations, not just the vestiges of print and the omnipresent news and opinion websites, not just cable and streaming TV and documentaries, but also digital interactive, long and short format video, audio, podcast, e-newsletters, not to mention virtual reality, augmented reality, the metaverse, and hologram-aided reporting. Information is delivered on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Facebook, Instagram, Substack, and more. Individual journalists and commentators are now information brands and influencers on their own, upsetting the traditional dominance of established legacy news outlets. Add to this that every brand you touch is delivering information to you, from a Home Depot to Whole Foods, from Patagonia to Petco. For consumers of news, it can be a case of more is less. It can be exhausting to keep up and confusing to know who to trust. For students of news and their teachers, the constellation of skills required to succeed has quadrupled from the time that I sat in these seats on campus. Not to mention the need for the sophistication of judgment and ethical parsing that might challenge even a Supreme Court judge. To wit, what does free speech absolutism mean in real terms? Are Twitter and Spotify platforms or publishers? The answer matters because it changes what responsibilities they have in monitoring inaccuracies, distortions, contortions, conspiracies, or hate speech. What does it mean to be a truly diverse and inclusive news organization, and how do we get there fast? What can we do about the technical ability to convincingly alter text documents, videos, and photos? What can be done to repair the dramatic erosion of trust in the media by the public, as well as the concurrent blurring of reporting versus opinion? How do you battle the label of fake news? What more should we be doing to protect the lives and safety of journalists who are bullied, harassed, threatened, attacked, even killed simply for doing the work that journalists must do? And can we say truly deep local reporting, which is always the source of national concerns and save those newsrooms from hostile takeovers by venture capitalist firms that value the profit of the buildings over the work done inside of them. And how do you then solve for the need to be profitable? Excellent news organizations are expensive to maintain. How do we convince consumers that quality news is worth at least the cost of 2 or 3 cups of Starbucks coffee a month? And what about nonprofit models? Can we build robust support for these, and are they sustainable? These are the highly consequential decisions our newly minted graduates and those in the middle of their careers right now have to make. And these are the decisions that our professors and university leaders must help them make through a fully contextual journalism education. And that's why it's so exhilarating, embracing, to see the cutting edge and holistic scholarship of the Bellisario College of Communications. The skills being taught, the initiatives and programs addressing exactly the challenges that I've described here with verve and imagination and commitment. I've had the privilege of working on a few initiatives under Dean Harden's impressive leadership, and I've been able to interact in classes with students, and it's why I'm inspired to do more of that now. Penn State has never rested on its laurels, though there are many laurels to rest on. Under Dean Harden and her department's head, there is a restless and urgent energy to continue to shapeshift, to meet the new incarnations, the new challenges, to be inventive and immersive, to be entrepreneurial, to be excellent. And the skills, principles, and standards I've learned here have given me the girding I've needed to traverse through my career. To be a journalist today is also a chance to be deeply creative, to storytell in so many ways and in so many expressions. I believe that will ultimately attract an even wider scope of students and practitioners and result in the dazzling richness of news and information experiences. And it's why I'm so moved to be standing here tonight, to see myself as part of the flowing of that river of change and improvement from what seems like a simpler and more innocent graduation year of 1981. But I know that Penn State will continue to be an innovative leader in making all of this possible. I witnessed it up close this trip inside these buildings and in the souls of the deeply committed professionals, which is why I'm so honored to be acknowledged, to join this special group of this distinguished alum, and why I'm so grateful and inspired, and